Have you ever gone out to shoot astro and there was light pollution, or the moon was out, or the weather was bad, or the composition was not exactly what you wanted? I know I definitely have. And today I'm going to share with you a few of the tools that I have found that are totally free that you can use to help prevent these types of scenarios from happening in your astrophoto shoots. So we're going to walk through the steps with a single photo, and we'll jump over the photo. But first of all, if you don't know who I am, I'm Sam Groth with Growth Galleries Astro, and every week I come on here to share details from how I shoot my astro photos, so that you can hopefully avoid some of the pitfalls that I've walked through myself. So we're going to jump over and look at the photo real quick, and we'll talk about briefly about how I captured this photo, and we'll talk about how I planned it. So as you can see here, this is a shot of the sky over the Black Canyon here in Colorado, where I live. You can see this is a panorama. I believe the sky is probably 6 or 7 photos in the foreground. It is somewhere between 6 to 8 photos. And you can see there's a nice viewpoint here, and then the canyon and the rocks and the whole sky here all came together very nicely in this one. But a picture like this, you have to do a significant amount of planning. So even if you're trying to shoot something much more simple, like a single a composition with just the summer Milky Way, which you can easily get with just your camera and your tripod, you probably want to plan out exactly where you want the elements of your composition to be, especially if you're going to some rock formation or you want to capture a canyon in composition with the Milky Way. All of these things, it's important to have a plan so that you don't get to your location and things don't look exactly how you want them to look. So if we jump over to the first tool I would use to plan, and you may say this is just Google Maps, but like Google Maps is a very useful tool for planning. You can find many details on here. You can see I have many places to start, of places that I've been or places that I want to go visit. And so for this particular photo, we're going to zoom in so I know that this is captured in the Black Canyon. So if we go Black Canyon of Gunnison National Park, we'll jump right into the national park itself. So this particular shot was captured in the entrance, near the entrance of the park. So if we can zoom in here and see, all right, this is here. There's a campground. So this is a very simple park. There's literally one road that drives along the canyon on the south side of the park, and then a very similar setup on the north side of the park as well. But if we come through here, we've entered the park here. We've passed the campground, the first viewpoint, and we come to the visitor center. So from the visitor center, this image was captured out along this trail here, out along the edge to the area right over here. So this is the location where the photo was captured from, about here. And you can see that the direction is facing, that I captured it was facing west, if because that's where the Orion shot is during February when I captured that photo. And so in Google Maps, if you're not aware, by default, like the view is with the north in the up direction, and then south is down below, and then west is to the left, and east is to the right. So just a basic map, sort of a top-down map sort of view. So we can see right away that there's the stairs here that are in my photo. There's the other viewpoint where I was standing, and then I captured the photo from above the stairs over here. So you can get a rough idea which direction this is. But this view might be great to see if there's a rough view in a specific direction, or where an object is in relation to where you might be standing, but it's not a really a great view of what the sky's going to look like, if there's going to be any obstacles in your point of view. And as much planning as you do, I still personally think it's a very good idea to go out and scout your location during the daytime, so that you can actually see what you're going to be expecting at night. So in our next step of planning, we know that this location here in the Black Canyon has a west-facing view of these stairs here, and that you can see down into the canyon to some extent. How much is kind of hard to tell from the map here, but at least we know that we can get to this location and there will be a west-facing view, which was the goal for shooting the panorama. And so the next thing we want to consider is we want to consider probably if there is any light pollution. So we can use any light pollution map. So this is one of them. Unfortunately, this app, they think they decided to monetize it. So there's like lots of ads now, and it seems kind of frozen right now. So hopefully if we refresh the map here, we'll be able to let's exit the page and see if we can reload it, hopefully. All right, there we go. So I know where the national park is. If you are looking yourself, you can search for places. So I'm just going to zoom all the way in here. And I know there's Black Canyon and the Gunnison National Park here. And so let's see if we can find the road. All right, so it's in the general area here. So we can see just roughly from this that the we don't need an exact view on the light pollution because it'll give us a rough idea where the light pollution is in respect to our photo. So we can see that from Black Canyon, it looks like to the east there is basically almost no light pollution that you have to worry about. But to the west, you have the city of Montrose, and probably Delta will show up a little bit in your photos. And if we go back to my photo, you might actually be able, yeah, you can see the two light domes here. So this would be the light dome from the Montrose area, and this would probably be the light dome from Delta. So you can kind of see the light effect from the light pollution map. Oh my goodness, this is real. This app is, I need to find a new light pollution map because this is, ads are getting out of hand. But like you can see here that when you're in the national park here, you're going to be able to see some light domes, but these are not very bad. For example, if you go to Grand Junction, the light dome is much brighter. And then if we were to go over to Denver, Colorado Springs, you can see that like this would be unreasonably bright and the sky would be completely washed out from basically anywhere close to the city. But we can see from the Black Canyon here, most likely we would be able to see some good sky details with a little bit of a light dome like you see in the image that I captured. So now that we know that the Black Canyon is actually a dark location, which we could already know because it's designated as an international dark sky spot, we can move on to the next step, which is we want to know where the Milky Way is going to be, and in this case for the photo where Orion is going to be. If you remember, we have Orion here and we have the whole Milky Way arch over the western sky. So to look where the sky will be located and at what time, I like to use this free program called Stellarium. There is a app for this as well, which I believe is paid, like $10 or $11, and I use this on my phone very extensively. I'm not sponsored by them, but it works really well. There are other planetarium apps out there, so especially if you're on iPhone, there's a really good one. I forget the name of it is off the top of my head, but you can just search in the App Store and find it. And these things are very helpful for planning your shoot. So we come to the app here, and you can see that it's showing the sky. So I guess the first thing that's very important for us to consider when using this app is what is the date that we're looking at. So you can see here that we're looking at March 25th, which I believe is today when I'm recording this, 2025, and you can see the time is defaulted to at night. So it's still the middle of the afternoon for me here, but they assume that you want to see the night sky and not the daytime sky. And so I can change the time for this. So let's say I want to go back a month to about the day. I don't know exactly which day this panorama was shot at, but it was around 2:25. So what we're going to do is we're going to see where the Milky Way is and where Orion is in the sky. And so if we can zoom out here using scrolling on your mouse. And you can see, or if you're a trackpad, you can just scroll out. And you see the Milky Way is arching around 9 p.m. So I think I can't remember if I shot at 10. It was between 9 and 11 p.m. when I shot the sky photo that for that other panorama. And so you can see here that we have the Milky Way. It's arching across the sky. You can see Orion is setting. You have Jupiter here. You've got Andromeda over here, and then Mars is up above the Milky Way. And you can see that the moon is nowhere to be found in the sky. So that means it's a really great time to be shooting the shot. It's arching, the arches here, and if we turn on the grid lines, we can get let's do the azimuthal grid lines. We can get a rough idea of what are the degrees of height in the sky, so that you can reference your camera like lenses focal length versus the field of view in degrees that will be covered. So I use a 14 millimeter lens, which covers, I believe, 100 and some, 100, I forget exactly what it is, 100 some degrees, but you can reference that for whatever the focal length is on your camera, and then you can get a rough idea how much of the sky will be visible in your photos. And so you can use all these azimuthal grid lines to get a rough estimate what you will be seeing in your field of view. So now that we know that the Milky Way will be arching over the west, a little bit further south and to the north during the time period around 9 to 10, 11. And then by the time you get past 11, then you're so close to the horizon that any level of smoke, high clouds, anything would make this a very hard image to actually provide any detail with. So we know we want to be out there by probably between 9 and 10 p.m. and start shooting the panorama. So now that we know that the composition will work, we can see this west-facing view here. We see the west-facing view on the map here. We want to know what maybe in more detail what the actual composition will look like, but we can't. Maybe you're making a once in a lifetime trip to some location where you've never been, so you don't know exactly what the view will be. So there's a tool called Google Earth Pro, which will allow you to see more of the composition. So let's walk through this. So you can see I have the Google Earth Pro map up here, and let's see here. All right, select that. All right, so we can see the map, and we can zoom out, right? And if we zoom all the way out on Google Earth Pro, you're gonna see the whole world. So I know that the Black Canyon, right, is in Colorado, like we just looked at on the map. So we're just gonna go to that same location. So we're gonna keep zooming in here, 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 here. All right, where is it? I went too far to the north. All right, somewhere down here. All right, over here. All right, so here's the entrance to the Black Canyon National Park, the South Rim Campground. This is the visitor center, right? So this is already, before we even zoom in, a much better view of the area, right? You can see here that we can see the canyon here. We can see the visitor center. If we zoom in here, not that much. You can see. All right, if you don't want to scroll click, you can do this thing too, which actually might be more effective. Find the visitor center here, and we know that the trail is from the visitor center out here, and then it goes along the canyon till you get to the viewpoint over here. And we know that we want a west-facing view, so we can rotate our field of view so that we're facing west. It'll give us a much better idea what view we're going to have. So the visitor center, I'm over here, here, here. And so this is not a terribly good view, but you can see that there's not really a whole lot of obstacles like blocking my field of view from the area above the stairs here. So this might be a good place to shoot from. And so one thing we can depend on is we can try to depend on other people who have been to the location shooting already. So many times, especially popular locations, someone will have posted some sort of photos. So this is one view. This is not the angle that I shot from, but like you can see roughly the field of view here, the canyon. And then if we zoom out here, there's another view. If we can, is this the right one? No. All right, so this is I did double check this before I came on here. There is a field of view here where you can actually see basically the exact composition that I shot. And let's see if we do that. All right, there we go. So this is very, very close to where I shot my panorama from. You can see we've got the stairs going down to the viewpoint here. You can sort of see down into the canyon. You've got this rock here, and you can see the whole field of view, basically exactly what I saw when I was shooting. So this is really helpful for planning exactly what you want to shoot. So for me, when I went to shoot this, I've been to this location like 10 times probably already, so I knew exactly what I was going to see and which direction I was going to be able to see it in. So this was not really a surprise for me at all. But if you have a plan trip that you have to plan, you can't actually go scout ahead of time. This is a great tool for making sure that you know what you're actually going to see. All right, so now that we have a plan for our composition, we've seen all the different fields of view that we can have. Now we have to worry about the conditions on the specific day when we are going to be there out shooting. So that means we have to worry about the weather. So, and also what we can talk about the moon. So we briefly mentioned that Stellarium will show you that when the moon is up. And so if we go here, let's see, I don't know when the moon rises on this particular day. Let's see if we can see moonrise. On this particular day that I randomly picked here to shoot, like the moon and the sun are rising at about the same time on the horizon there. So the moon on this night, the moon is irrelevant, but let's pick a day here when the moon is. There we go. So on the 22nd of March, which is a few days ago, you can see that the moon is very clearly in the sky. And so when the moon is in the sky, you can see that the Milky Way and other objects in the sky will be much dimmer, and it's not a great time for you to shoot. So this is one way to check the moon phase if you're planning very far in advance. If you're planning within a week or so, you can get a rough idea of where the moon will be from this app called Astrophotography, which is a weather app that I use. You can see that over time there's the rising and setting of the sun here along this path with the yellow here for the sun. And then the other line is the moon's rising and setting time. So you can see the exact rising and setting time of the moon here, as well as when the moon will not be in the sky. So if you're planning for like the next day to go shoot, you can come here, look at this and say, okay, the evening on the 25th of March seems like a very good time to go shoot because the moon is going to be below the horizon line, and then in the morning, it rises like a little bit before the sun here, the moon around 5:30 a.m. So we have a window between sunset and around 5:30 to shoot in the west, and maybe a little bit after 5:30. But like once it gets to like 5:45 or 6, like the moon is definitely gonna be causing a problem for light in the sky, and you won't be able to capture as much detail. You also have to worry about the sunrise. So it's about an hour and a half give or take a little bit before sunrise, where the sun is not showing over the horizon, but it's bright enough to cause you to not have as much detail in your images. So you have to, like, you can use this app for tracking that. So the weather app is very useful for a lot of different things. So not only can you see the sun and moon phases, you can see the KP index. This is for the aurora. So this is one of the indicators for your chance to see the aurora on a specific night. You can see here, unless you're like in Alaska or Norway or something, probably not going to see the aurora on these nights. You can also get a rough idea where the wind is, the wind direction. And then you have other key metrics here, like you're going to know how cold it is. So if it's like this one, wherever this is located, it's going to be 30 degrees. And then the dew point is 25, so it looks like there wouldn't be any problems with dew. But if you're in a really humid area, this might be a very relevant metric for me. I mostly shoot in Western Colorado, which is a lot of it is a desert, so I don't usually worry about dew. But if that's a concern for you, those details are also here. And then over time, I can see the progression of where the clouds would be if there's any clouds in the prediction of the weather. So if we go through here, let's say I want to shoot at, like we were shooting at 10 p.m. for this particular shot like a month ago. I would come to my weather app here on that specific day and say, okay, what is the prediction over in Black Canyon? So I want to know here. So I'll search Black and this is not showing me Black Canyon of the Gunnison. All right, there we go, much better. So we'll get the forecast here. And so this is the location where nearer to where the photo was taken. So you can see between 10 to 11 p.m. I want to know where the clouds are going to be. So even tonight, it looks like it would be a really good time to go shoot in the west-facing direction. It's going to be really clear. There's no clouds. In the east, you might have a little bit of clouds. So like this is just a high-level weather overview, and the prediction, obviously, predictions and reality are two totally different things. So when you're out shooting, make sure you're looking at the sky, and if it looks like it's going to pour rain on you, don't worry about what the app said. Just go in your car if it's lightning and thundering. So then you can also check other things here. So another really useful thing to check is smoke. So lots of times people would not consider that smoke could affect their photos, but it can have a pretty big effect on what's going on. Sometimes it can make things completely cloudy. Other times it'll act like a high cloud and cause like bloating in the bright stars. And so if I click on this fire here, it will show me the smoke map. So you can see that like tonight it looks like there is no smoke predicted for anywhere in the area. So both the clouds look good, the smoke looks good. I can see that the moon will not have risen, so that's also looking good. And yeah, like overall, like it looks like really good conditions. So I think that this is how you would like plan for the weather actually. And then you can close these if you want to. You can see these different things. You might be slightly confused by this field of view. So if you don't want to spend the time to learn the whole interface, you can just look at the map and say, are there clouds? Are there not clouds? Is there smoke? Is there not smoke? Is it going to be very cold? Do I need to prepare for that? Or is it going to be very warm? Do I need to prepare for that? All these conditions you can very easily check without going into too much more detail. But if you're interested, like these different indicators here are these are indicators of different things. So this is you can go through here. It's pretty well documented what these are. So there's the clouds, the transparency, and the seeing are the three different indicators here. So this top row will be how thick are the clouds, and then this seeing and transparency have to do with other atmospheric conditions. And you can see that like tonight is like incredibly optimal. Like it's very, very clear. Like to get this kind of clear conditions when there's a new moon is actually not all that common. So night would be a fantastic night to go out and shoot based on all the prediction indicators here. And so you can see the clouds are here, but like later on in the week, you can see that there's some clouds, and then the transparency is pretty bad. So this would not be a good time to go out. And this transparency and seeing are bad, even though there aren't that many clouds. So you probably wouldn't be seeing the best results during these conditions. You can go out and try. I have a photo that I'm publishing later this week that like took advantage of high clouds to filter the stars and make them look nice and bloated. And you can see what that effect looks like. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to see that. But like that's definitely not usually the conditions you want to go out and visually see the Milky Way or get photos of it. And you can see that on even Thursday night here, there's even different conditions where you have good no clouds and you have a good transparency, but the seeing is not very good. So like there might be smoke, or there might be it might be really humid out or something like that. There could be different factors causing the seeing to be pretty poor. So yeah, that's how I use this weather app. You can see the wind speed here as well. You can see the predicted temperature and the dew point again, like specifically for the hour that you have selected. So I really like this view where you can just go hour by hour for they do 4 days of hourly forecast, and then you can see a 10, I think it's a 10-day forecast or something into the future total here, where you can see the long-term forecast. Yeah, and so this is the main weather app that I use for tracking. Again, like I think we've basically covered a full plan where you've got a composition, you've got like with the map, you found your location, you've checked the light pollution to see if it looks good, then you've found your checked your composition between the Google Earth Pro and the Stellarium, and then you check the weather conditions in the short term while making sure that the moon is not going to be causing you any problems. So if you follow through all these steps, you can end up with photos that look like this. So I want to emphasize that if you use all these photos that you see here on my desktop, these are all free apps. None of them are costing you any money. You might have to see a few ads like on the light pollution map, but like you can definitely plan out an entire astro shoot without spending tons of money for the planning apps. Now, if you want to go into other planning apps, I may do a talk on those at some point. There are some paid apps that provide some very cool features that, in addition to the ones what I've talked today. But let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to learn more about. I can present some of those apps, and we can discuss how I would use those. But yeah, so I think these tools are really helpful for any astro shoot you might do. So like usual, make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you would like to see more content like this, you can join my school community down in the description. And I have a weekly office hours on there where I can join and answer any astro related questions that you might have. And you can also post and engage with the community there. So thanks for watching today, and clear skies.